Hi, my name's Rob, Managing Director. I've been in this building for a couple of years now, and I've never felt anything in it at all, to be honest. There's noises, but it's things like the wind and the rain. It's a metal roof building, so it makes noises, it creaks. I've never heard or seen anything that's scary. So. Sorry, that's not what you want to hear, but is that okay?
Hi, Johnny, the sales rep. I worked here about a couple of years now. There's been a few odd noises, nothing out of the ordinary really. Seagulls on the roof, lost cats, trains, that sort of stuff. I don't really believe in ghosts, and I just think this whole mostly not haunted investigation is just going to get in the way of work and just slow everything down. Right? I just want to sell doors.
Alright guys, it's Grampy Bryan, as you are probably well know. I'm 100% convinced that there's something in this place which is from beyond the gravy. My old nan used to always say that ghosts are like rats, that there's more of them than there are of us, and you're never far away from one. The rest of the team think I'm speaking gobbledygook, but I've seen and heard stuff in this place that can't be explained or blamed on whiskey or too many energy drinks or being a pensioner. That's what I am, but I'm interested to see what the mostly not haunted team can discover. It'd be nice to prove to people I'm not stupid, I'm not senile, I'm not a silly old man. Well, I am, but not in this case, when it comes to the ghosts and that, because they is real, and I'm telling you from the bottom of my heart, that I believe, 100%.
I'm Andy. I work in the warehouse and showroom here at Composite Doors Cardiff, and to be honest, I don't believe in ghosts at all. I've heard nothing unusual, nothing strange, and I think it's all a bit of a farce, to be honest. If the mostly not haunted team manage to find something and prove me wrong, then that's great, but I'm not a believer.
Alright, I'm Carl Welshman, and I used to be a tenant in the building that you're actually investigating. Now, I'm not a guy who's scared easily. Really, I consider myself quite brave. I like horror films and creepy stuff, and I'd say I'm open-minded. I'm open-minded to ghosts and supernatural, but I'm also not gullible. I'd say if I'm gonna believe outright in something, I do need hard evidence. But that's not to say that I don't think that there might be stuff out there. I'd say that I'm an open-minded skeptic. You gotta keep your mind open. You never know, do you, for certain? I was working there for a few years, and there were definitely things going on that were a bit odd. You just couldn't quite explain them. You couldn't say it was like a passing car, or people running about upstairs, or the wind blowing things, or anything like that. And I'd say, yeah, it did freak me out from time to time, but I never thought there was anything like
nasty,
anything like that. I felt uneasy, absolutely, but I'd never say I was proper scared.
I've been allowed to use the office to do some additional research on the place, which I'm doing with Grampy Bryan.
Alright guys.
He's over there. I've actually been allowed to use Jonathan's desk as he's off, because apparently he has a lot of time off. But his desk is immaculate. Rob really should pay him more. But anyways, so yeah, we're doing some additional research to basically look into the history of the building, history of the people that worked here. Someone will answer that in a minute. Yeah, we'll keep everything to ourselves. Any sort of interesting facts about the people that worked here, lived here, what happened in the surrounding area, what happened in this building specifically. I've also heard there's been multiple lost cats, and animals can come across as spirits as well, so might even capture an apparition of a cat or something. And then when the team are carrying out their actual investigation, what I'll be doing then is I'll be cross-referencing all the information that we've found, all the research we've done with what they find, see if any of it matches. If it does, I hate to say it, but that would almost solidify the fact that they've caught something genuine. we've just got back from finally finishing the research, myself and Grampy Bryan. It's been hard work trying to get stuff done with him, but that's another story. The information we found, it was difficult to come by because it wasn't all online. We actually had to go through like land registries to find out more about the land this building is on and the surrounding area. That was a slip of the tongue, not a possession. And we even had to go to the local library, Barry Library. I'm confident that due to how much of a pain this research was to do, that the rest of the team hasn't done it. So they can't quickly Google something and then say, you know, they couldn't Google Cecil was hung and then say that they're getting the feeling of a tightness around their neck and all. They can't. If they do come across anything that was quite hard for us to find and then get it spot on, then it would be very difficult for me to debunk. So annoyingly, that would kind of prove that
Spirits are real and they have communicated with them.
as I mentioned earlier about Cecil hanging, that is public knowledge that he hung. However, the more detailed parts of what we found out about it aren't. They took some real investigative skills, and it was old text that was about 500 or more years old. Grampy Bryan was actually the one who wrote it. It's that old, but it took some deciphering, but I'll give him credit. Grampy Bryan managed to help out a lot with that, and he's got a bit more information about it for you. There's a train going past, but I've just come into the sort of haunted corner part of the showroom because the guys here at Composite Cardiff told me they've done a bit more work to it, and it is coming along nicely. But I've actually got an artifact I think would look quite good here. It's hidden away in my desk at the minute. It's a haunted artifact. Well, it's an old artifact from something that was here before this building. I don't want to give too much away. Grampy Bryan probably remembers it. He was probably there. But yeah, it's locked away in my desk at the minute. Well, not my desk, in a desk. I personally don't think the team will find all of this information out. They might find snippets, but not all of it. We'll have to wait and see. What I found though, chocolate. In the haunted corner, there's a little cauldron full of chocolate. This one's a whisper though, so but yeah. I haven't been this excited since my backlog of train spotting magazines got delivered. Get in.
Get in. Get in.
Alright guys, so me and Kieran have spent several days now bashing our brains and looking into all the records of all things local, and this whole street, this whole industrial estate basically used to be a big barren wasteland. There's just like a massive tree and a castle come mansion built on it. The place was passed down through several generations of the same family. There was a Lady Seren, Princess Caitlin, a Lord Sebastian and a Prince Llywelyn. That wasn't a bad pronunciation for an old Cockney geezer, was it? Llywelyn. But it ended up with an old guy called Cecil. This old Cecil guy, when he died, he had no one to live that place too because no one fancied him enough to marry him. So after he died, the building was left to ruin, like my old Fort Cortina. God rest her soul. It seems that this Cecil was a bit of a nut job, and none of the locals were scared of him at all. Local sheriff records have him recorded as telling all the locals that he was possessed by the devil and that he had threatened to cast curses on people for making fun of him. But all I did in the end was get him sentenced to death by hanging on a big tree that was just out the back of the warehouse. Now Cecil was buried and at what will have now be the warehouse. It was roughly where I'm standing now, which backs up for me that there's definitely been some weird stuff going on, because it was in here when I first heard stuff. So yeah, facts. Whilst building the warehouse years ago, they did actually find human bones, which was assumed to be Cecil. This is not Cecil. There's no actual evidence that it was him, and there's been no recorded sightings of the guy in over 500 years. Until recently, maybe.
It was me.
Oh, bloody look like my ex-wife. Now, there's a couple of paintings we found of Cecil on record, even a painting of the old hanging tree that we found, as well as records of his execution, which was, oddly enough, on Halloween, October 31st in the year 1517. Freaky. Right, so we've got Cecil's name and the names of his family before him. We know the building that he lived in dated back to Norman conquest, like 11th century, just before I was born, believe it or not. We've got loads of information, and we'll keep a lot of it under our hats in case we need it. If we do need it, you know, we've got it. I know Kieran doesn't believe, but I absolutely do, because some of these facts are already sort of close to the bone. I actually feel quite close to Cecil, if I'm honest.